How's it going, guys? Seth Holocron from the Dongers of Runeterra with another Donger deck discussion. This time trying to make a deck like Darrowing and maybe even making it better, seeing as Targon is now a thing. So it's Darius, and it's going to be my other good friend in Draven. So strike with 2 locals, spinning axes in total. You level up and become a 4-4 with Draven. Darius, 10 health left. Less, he becomes 10-6. That's really good. Pretty much this entire deck is based around Overwhelm, and I think it's kind of decent. So let's go to the favorite button. 6 spells. In fact, in total, we're running 2. So let's do the 2 spells first. Number 1, Pale Cascade. Giving ally +2/+1 this round. Nightfall, draw an extra card. Pretty decent indeed. Contemplating getting rid of this and putting in Brother's Bond. Grant 2 allies +2. Yeah, I still think Pale Cascade is probably better. And the other spell that we are running is a new one, Decisive Maneuver, fast spell. Stun an enemy. Give all allies +2 attack this round. And this is pretty much how you finish the game. Stun an enemy, have a wide board, go completely mad. So let's see what the deck actually has, because that's it spell-wise. Like, fuck spells. We're just going wide. Just like the original Darius deck. But unlike the original Darius deck, we are not running the Crimson package. We are not running, where is it? It's the 4-drop. Where is it? No, I cannot find what I'm... we're not running this. We're not running Basilisk Rider, because we're running 12 of these. So here's the deck. Legion Saboteur. Attack. Deal 1 to the enemy Nexus. A 2/1 for 1 mana. Precious Pet. Fearsome, which means if you know what the kind of a deck you're playing against, and if they can't put anything out in turn 1, so I probably wouldn't play this against a Targon deck, because he becomes a 3/3. But everything else, it's 2 free damage, essentially. Solari Soldier's 3/3, a brilliant thing to be able to put down to wipe out everything that you can put down for 1. Goodbye your Omen Hawk, goodbye everything, and then he goes back to a 2/2. Fantastic. So we have 9 total 1-drops. House Spider, a 2/2 and a 1/1. So 2 bodies on the board for 2 mana. That sounds pretty good to me. Imperial Demolitionist, deal 1 to an ally, they deal 2 to the enemy Nexus. That sounds good to me as well. But we're only running 2 of, because an awful lot of these don't have an awful lot of health. And then you would die. So we're only running 2 Demolitionists. Legion Grenadier, deal 1 to the enemy Nexus. Now we're running 3 of these because it's a 3/2. It will take out a unit and do an extra damage to the Nexus. That's pretty decent. And then to keep things kind of ticking over even better, here's another 3/2 that every time it strikes somebody, as in it's in combat, you get a gem. A gem is a 1-cost thing that grants heals an ally 1 and grants it +1 attack. So of course we're running 3 of those. We've talked about Pale Cascade, so that's great. Let's go to Crescent Guardian. Now, even if you just drop this as a 3/3, it's okay. But you need to play this as your second card, because then he's a 5/3 Overwhelm. Put it out there. Take a trade with a 1, and then Pale Cascade it. Or even take it into a 2/2, and then Pale Cascade. Or if you've got a gem, whack that on. All of a sudden he's a 6. He's just horrible. Crescent Guardians just win you the game. Draven giving you the free spinning axes to discard a card to give you a +1 attack is fantastic. He's also quick attack. That's equally as brilliant too. And then even more Overwhelm. Let's go for Iron Ballista. This is a 4/3 for 3 mana. So halfway between what the Crescent Guardian is and can be for the same price. Brilliant card. Iron Ballista does a ton of work. Stays alive for at least a couple of rounds. Once he's down to a 4/1, fire him out. We don't have many buffs. This deck is like pure out aggro, like absolutely aggro. You want to throw out the Demolitionist, you want to throw that out, you want to throw the Solari Soldier out, you want to throw the Precious Pet out, and yes, Vile Feasts and all that sort of stuff comes to town, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to have more bodies than they will, unless you're playing Anivia, and people who play Anivia need shot dead, because it's the most boring deck. It's 5 or 6 months old, and if you can't figure out new decks by this stage, there's something really wrong with people just literally doing nothing but net decking. And that, as a deck builder, that really grinds my gears quite a lot. Every single time I try and play this, I'm either up against an Asol deck or an Anivia deck, and it's got about a 50% win rate, which isn't great, but against nearly every other deck, that's pretty cool. Crowd favorite, yes. Now you want at least 3 or 4 out here before you put down a crowd favorite, as you get +1/+1 for every single ally you have on side, and at 1 health, he's awful to put down as just 1 card. But sometimes it happens. Try not to. Again, he is only a 2 of, because the last 2 cards are the Decisive Maneuver, which will literally stun an enemy. So if you have an Anivia there on a wide board and 10 to go and you've got 14, you've just, even if you're only, say there's an Anivia dead, an enlightened Anivia, and it's a 3/5 and she's ready to rock and roll. You can stun this and give your entire board +2 power and smash everything, and they can't really do anything apart from play spells. Brilliant open attack, as this is fast. And finally, Darius. It's very easy to get their Nexus down under 10, which means he normally comes out leveled. Against Targon decks and against Shadow Isles decks where they can bump up their Nexus quite handily, that's the only time he struggles. Other than that, Darius is a win condition that is very, very difficult to beat indeed. So why on earth have we went back to Darius when I'm saying about Anivia? Well, the thing is, this is a classic-ish kind of deck, okay? Spells aren't really that good. Yes, I would like to add in something like where's she be? Like Brothers Bond. Brothers Bond is fantastic, right? It is a fantastic card. Really, really fantastic. I haven't even looked at the one. There is a fantastic spell that captures things, and it's Apprehend. And this is a consideration to put into this deck. You stun an enemy, and if you have Darius, rally. Now, I quite like what we've got here. This does direct Nexus damage. This does direct Nexus damage. Solid, solid, solid. Too good to remove. The Goat gives you gems. Draven gives you axes. Ballista's too good. Crowd Favorite's too good. I can't fit this in, and I'm only running 6 spells. It's so tight that this and Brothers Bond, should you wish more spells, are fantastic to add in. My suggestion would be maybe to drop out the Legion Saboteur and put in Apprehended Brothers Bond, because it still gives you 6 cards that you can play around with. We've a whole ton of 2-drops. We've got 10 different cards in there. A whole bunch of 3/3s. 1/4, 1/5, 1/6. It's a very low-cost deck, as all good aggro decks are. So there are ways to tinker around with this, try and make it even better, and all that sort of razzmatazz. So I enjoy playing Legends of Runeterra with decks that are meant to be fair. Okay? I don't think things like give Asol absolutely everything that costs 0. I don't think that's a fair mechanic. I don't think that Rekindler into Anivia is... I would rather play Spooky Karma than Anivia, because I think the design of Anivia is broken. Absolutely broken. If any of these characters die, they're dead. They don't then sit there on a bench and be brought back to full health by a Rekindler. That's... I mean, what? It's months ago. Think of new things. Like, I'm even thinking of making a Tarek and Fiora deck again, because there are so many good cards to go with it. But anyway, I digress. What I love about this game is what I've loved about all card games, is the ability to sit down, figure out what games you think are really decent to play, what decks that you like to play with, and then try and build decks to try in the long term to get about a 50% win rate against decks that bore you to tears. This deck has about a 60% win rate and about a 50% win rate into decks that bore me alive and are making me getting to the point that I may have to take a break from the game in the current meta, because in ranked at the minute, it's not fun. It's not fun. I play games to entertain myself. I have a fantastic job that I adore, but when I'm at home and I've got a day off, nothing made me feel happier than sitting down and playing a few hours of LOR. And now, if it is an ASOL, if it isn't CF Go Hard, if it isn't these massive KDA spell decks, and that's all you see. And yes, I've got all the cards, but those decks just don't make me feel good. I'll happily lose to any deck at all, but it's becoming a little boring at the minute, seeing the same decks over and over and over again. And it's for the first time, it's making me kind of not look forward to turning on my laptop to play this game, which is a shame. So hopefully the new patch and the new champions and stuff, we're getting 3 new champions in the next big patch. So hopefully they will be well designed and reignite my love for this amazing game, because it is an amazing game. Just ranked is so bad at the minute. I'm having more fun just playing in normals, and that's the truth. So there we go. This is my Darius Targon deck. I hope you enjoy it. There is the deck code, which we'll pin down in the comment section. Try it out. It is a fun deck to play. It really, really is. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Like and comment away. We reply to them all. Liking helps the algorithm let more people see what we do at the Dongers of Runeterra. Thank you so much for watching. I will probably make that Tarek deck now, actually, while I'm on. Until the next video, Dongers out.